For hours, he pretended as if nothing was wrong, chatting with her father and making dinner for the children before tucking them into bed. But downstairs in the basement, his wife's blonde hair was already sticking out of a black garbage bag. When 16-year-old Kristina Joksimovic was spotted by a modelling scout on the streets of Basel, Switzerland, she had no idea that simple moment would reshape her entire life. 4 years later, she became a finalist in the Miss Switzerland pageant, capturing the title of Miss Northwest Switzerland in 2007. Though she didn't win the ultimate crown, she described the experience as a life-changing moment and founded Catwalk Coach in 2007, a consulting agency aimed at helping women boost their self-confidence. She mentioned in an interview, "During this time, I was often approached by people who wanted to know how to walk across the stage beautifully." One of her notable clients was Dominique Rinderknecht, whom she coached to victory in the 2013 Miss Switzerland competition. Alongside her coaching business, Kristina worked in IT recruitment, including positions at Google and the firm Arnie. It was during this busy period that she met Mark Reben at work. Mark Reben gave the impression of the perfect father and husband. He came from an affluent family, had a good job, a big house, and volunteered to a group of scouts. Their wedding in August 2017 seemed like the beginning of a fairy tale. They settled into a beautiful semi-detached house in an affluent area near Basel, the kind of home where successful couples raise their children. Kristina's greatest pride came from her 2 daughters, born just 17 months apart in 2020 and 2021. Her Instagram posts showed a woman who seemed to have it all: a thriving business, a beautiful family, and a lifestyle that took her from the beaches of Hawaii to the ski slopes of Switzerland. To the outside world, Kristina and Mark represented the perfect modern Swiss family. Friends described them as having everything together, the couple everyone else aspired to become. But perfection, especially when it appears too good to be true, often conceals the darkest secrets of all. The first signs that something was wrong came from those closest to Kristina. Speaking with Daily Mail, the friend said she was surprised by the marriage. "She was really in love at the beginning, but I was a bit surprised when she got into a relationship with him, as he didn't suit her at all. He came across as really introverted, very critical, and sometimes quite arrogant. What started as small criticisms evolved into something far more sinister." She added, "Kristina was married to a killer and had no idea. She left that psychopath home alone with the children. He was really derogatory with her, with gestures, words, and even his tone. Even during family gatherings, Mark's disconnection was obvious. He would wear headphones at children's birthday parties, showing complete isolation while maintaining a facade. Behind closed doors, he was a cold psychopath, slowly revealing his true nature. Mark's criticisms were disguised as concern, his demands masqueraded as love. Kristina was the type of person who didn't want to talk badly about her marriage, making it difficult for friends to understand what was happening. The fact that she confided problems to friends in the last 12 months showed just how desperate the situation had become. As their marriage progressed, Mark's true nature became harder to hide. Kristina tried to seek couple counselling, but Mark would either leave therapy sessions early or refuse to attend altogether, making clear he had no intention of changing. The most documented incident occurred on July 14, 2023, when police were called to their house. Federal court documents revealed photographs showing signs of strangulation on Kristina's neck. But even after this terrifying incident, Mark continued manipulating Kristina through fear. Her friend said, "She told me that she had to get police once, but wouldn't tell me details about this. Only that he was violent and threatened her, that if she called the police, he would turn it around on her and she would see what would happen to her then." She added, "She told us that he started drinking and consuming drugs, and she caught him smoking weed in a storage room in their basement twice." The pattern wasn't limited to Kristina. Mark had a documented history of violence with a previous partner who accused him of grabbing her by the neck and slamming her head into a wall. Their relationship had been in crisis for months, with previous police interventions following reports of physical violence. Kristina had called the police several times before she died to report intimate partner violence, each call a desperate attempt to break free from the cycle of abuse. Kristina began to realize her marriage was life-threatening. A source close to her revealed the most chilling detail. She wanted to break up, but was afraid of him, the source told 20 Minutes. This fear wasn't unfounded. Leaving an abusive relationship is statistically the most dangerous time for victims. Behind Instagram posts showing family vacations and business success, Kristina was actively planning her escape, consulting legal experts about custody and divorce. But every step forward was met with Mark's escalating threats. The power imbalance extended beyond their marriage. Mark came from a wealthy family with political connections, while Kristina's family was middle class. Her parents are middle class, and they can't win against his family's expensive lawyers. Mark controlled their social interactions, monitoring her friendships and business relationships. With these chemicals, he wanted to disperse her into the air and then pretend she just left because this was all too much for her. His plan was always to make Kristina disappear completely. Just 4 weeks before she was killed, Kristina shared pictures of a couple's getaway on Instagram. To followers, it looked romantic. In reality, it may have been Mark's final attempt to control the narrative while planning something far more sinister. February 13th, 2024 began like any other day in the Reben household. Kristina went about her morning routine, preparing to take her daughters to kindergarten before focusing on her coaching business. She had appointments scheduled, clients depending on her expertise, and a life that was slowly but surely moving toward freedom from Mark's control. But Kristina never made it to pick up her daughters from kindergarten that afternoon. Concerns over Joksimovic's welfare first arose when her children's nursery contacted her parents after failing to reach her. Kristina's parents knew immediately that something was very wrong. This wasn't just a case of running late or forgetting an appointment. This was a complete break from everything they knew about their daughter's character. Alarmed, her parents went to the home she shared with her husband, Mark Reben, located near Basel, Switzerland. When they arrived, Reben claimed he had no idea where his wife was. Mark's performance that evening was Academy Award-worthy in its deception. According to a close friend of Joksimovic, speaking to Mail Online, Reben continued to claim he had no knowledge of her whereabouts and offered her father a drink. The casualness of the gesture, offering refreshments while claiming ignorance about his wife's disappearance, was itself deeply disturbing. Not realizing anything horrific had happened, Kristina's father ate dinner with his grandchildren and talked to his son-in-law Mark Reben, 41. The friend said, "For hours, he pretended as if nothing was wrong, chatting to her father and making dinner for everyone before tucking the children into their beds." Mark was playing the role of the concerned husband and devoted father, even going through the domestic routine of preparing meals and putting the children to sleep. It was a performance that would have been impressive if it weren't so utterly psychopathic. Her father went to pick up her mother and returned to the house. Mark kept insisting he didn't know where Kristina was and claimed she would just leave sometimes. When pressed for more information about his wife's whereabouts, Mark's response was both callous and revealing. He suggested that Kristina would simply abandon her children without warning, a claim that anyone who knew her would immediately recognize as impossible. When Kristina's mother wanted to file a missing person report, they couldn't do anything because she hadn't been missing for more than a day, and Mark ended up hanging up the phone. Mark's response to this suggestion was telling. He actively tried to prevent Kristina's family from involving law enforcement, hanging up the phone when they attempted to file a report. Growing increasingly worried, Kristina's father made a decision that would change everything. The father insisted on searching all over the house. Room by room, he searched for any trace of his daughter. Each empty space only deepened his dread. Finally, he made his way down to the basement, to what was described as an isolated bunker of a laundry room. His footsteps echoed in the silence as he entered the cold, dim space. Then he saw it, a single strand of blonde hair protruding from a black garbage bag in the corner. His heart hammered against his chest as the terrible realization began to dawn. With trembling hands, he approached the bag, knowing but not wanting to believe what he might find inside. He opened the black bag. The image that would haunt him for the rest of his life was right there in front of him. His beloved Kristina, reduced to this unthinkable horror. He ran. Bursting from the house, he stumbled into the street screaming. A passerby was driving past, and he frantically flagged them down. "Call 911. His voice was barely human, torn from a place of pure anguish that no father should ever have to visit. The forensic investigation revealed the true horror of what Mark had done to his wife. In a recently released autopsy report, investigators said Kristina was strangled before her body was dismembered in the laundry room with a jigsaw power tool, knife and garden shears. Mark had also attempted to hide evidence, including Joksimovic's phone, which was concealed on a delivery truck. His plan extended beyond just disposing of Kristina's body. He was working to eliminate any trace of her existence. When the father returned to confront Mark, the killer's facade finally crumbled. Mark was gobsmacked, as he probably didn't think someone would find her. Reuben was arrested at the scene, and later led away in handcuffs, reportedly showing no remorse. Coldly telling Kristina's mother, "Well, you told me you'd only come by briefly." The family friend commented, "How deranged do you have to be to not show a single emotion?" Initially claiming self-defense, Mark finally confessed to investigators in March, when forensic evidence contradicted his story, proving his actions were calculated and deliberate. The court's psychological evaluation revealed the true extent of Mark's depravity. Prosecutors said he displayed a noticeably high level of criminal energy, lack of empathy, and cold-bloodedness. On September 11th, Reuben's request to be released from jail while awaiting trial was denied by the federal court in Lausanne. But the cruelty didn't end there. Reuben's wealthy family is now fighting for custody of Kristina's daughters, using expensive lawyers against her middle-class parents. Kristina was more than a headline. She was a successful businesswoman, devoted mother and mentor who helped other women find confidence. Mark Reuben stole more than her life. He stole her daughter's future with their mother and shattered a community's trust. Justice may be served through the courts, but two little girls will grow up knowing their father murdered their mother in the most brutal way imaginable.